right. We are live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's your girl here. And this is Heartbreak Hotel. Now please forgive us for our tardiness because Mercury is in retrograde and we've been having some technical difficulties. And so we apologize. We hope our other guest panelists can join us soon because man, the internet ain't being kind to people. The other day it was messing with me, so we gonna see. But nevertheless, we appreciate y'all for joining us. Welcome. I'm your host, Larneka Lavalais, aka Linky Love. And once again, this is Heartbreak Hotel. And I would like to introduce my panel to you. And when Cap come, we'll let them introduce themselves to you. So B, introduce yourself if you be so kind. Tell us who you are, what you got, where you from, what you do.
Hey everybody, my name is B. My name is Janelle, but I go by B. And I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist, graphic designer, um, and I love to have fun. That's me. Thank you for having me.
All right, B, we appreciate it. Yo, introduce yourself, please. Uh-oh. Is Yo froze? That doggone Mercury and retrograde ain't worth a damn. It ain't worth that. Yo. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. I think it caught up to us. All right. If you could introduce yourself. Uh-oh. Well, we're gonna let Yo get the internet back up and me and B gonna roll with it. Yo, try to go out and come back in, maybe we'll see. But we gonna roll. That damn Mercury retrograde. You know what? I used to didn't believe in all that. I used to be like, what they talking about? What is this? But astrology, the stars, they there for a reason. They ain't there to just be lighting up the sky at night for us to, see. And if you look at, I won't say ancient, well, yeah, I can say ancient times. People use the stars and the astrology as guides. People who were during planting season, the farmers and the hunters and fishermen and all that stuff, the full moon, all of those things had its purpose for people to be able to live and do things. And so people studied the stars long enough to know that when the stars align and planets doing this and that, these different things happen. And so Mercury retrograde, one of the things they said, yo, you still froze? Oh man. So one of the things they said with Mercury retrograde is that technology mess up. I've been seeing it. Another thing they say your ex is gonna come back. Nah, I kind of I kind of seen not me, but some other folk have talked about their exes coming back during Mercury retrograde. Let's see if I can get you out. Yo, are you back? Oh man.
I think so.
Okay, all right, good. Let's see. Can you introduce yourself?
I hear you.
We can hear you too. Uh-oh.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Very much. Yes, we can.
Okay.
I think it's slow.
Look, the
Tell
devil is
us
a
who
lie. That's
you
all I'm gonna say. The
are.
devil is a lie.
Tell us who you are.
I am Yo Boogie, wellness coach, and poet and author. I am here and thank you for having me on this wonderful panel.
All right, appreciate you. We appreciate you. Hey Bernice, don't laugh at us, baby. You know how it is when these contraptions, like the old folks say, baby. Them the Mercury is in retrograde. Well, we are happy to have you. Cap was having some issues, so we hope Cap can join us soon. But nevertheless, we're gonna get on moving. We're gonna move. Well, I am Linky Love, and I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm trying to make it. Hey, Chevette, y'all laughing? They okay? Yeah, yeah. We appreciate y'all joining us, and we appreciate y'all patience. So tonight's topic is one that you hear people talk about this a lot, and you don't really know what it is because typically when people use this particular term, they use it in front of people maybe manipulating or abusing a situation, and that term is love bombing. Right? Whenever we talk about bad or toxic things, there's usually some reference to, oh, you were love bombed, and then all the madness happened, right? So we want to talk about love bombing versus genuine love, right? Because I mean, they both can feel the same. That term is love. I hear myself, girl. Okay. They both can be the same. So let me get on and ask y'all what comes to mind when we talk about love bombing. When you be or yo, what do y'all think about when y'all hear the term love bombing?
You know, what's so interesting for me is that I actually did not know what love bombing meant until I was asked by you to come on this panel, and I looked up the questions for myself. I actually thought that love bombing was just the act of like overly pouring into somebody that you're interested in, and obviously like out of not feeling good enough, and then that would come from thinking that love is conditional. But when I learned about it being a manipulative tactic, um, to kind of get somebody uh, invested in you, but you're not actually invested in them long term,
Yeah.
um, it changes the way that I'm even gonna start using that word in the future. Because I honestly, with the definition that I thought it was, I thought I was a love bomber. But
Okay.
when I learned what it was, um, it was something different. So that's what came to mind first.
Okay. Okay. What made you feel like you were a love bomber?
I think that in my past, I really did try to like try to impress people because I thought that they wouldn't just like me for me. And
Yeah.
so, I would buy things, or I'll make these great dates because I like somebody, and I think like they're not gonna like me back unless I do these things.
Yeah. Performative. Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Yo, what comes to mind when you hear the term love bombing?
Get away from me. I don't want to hear it. Take that somewhere else. Go. Bye bye. Because the first thing I is, ooh, you gonna touch a piece of me that I know I like cater to. Leo,
Okay.
stroke my ego.
Ugh.
But because I know that about
Okay.
myself,
Okay.
I look at the intention behind the words. If I don't find intention behind the words that you're saying, you just blowing smoke, baby. You blow smoke. I could blow smoke and we could blow
That part.
smoke together.
Everybody's smoking. Everybody's smoking, right? All right. And I feel what B was saying because I have been that person. I'm gonna lie, I have led relationships with gifts and money and things like that. Uh doing you know what? I used to hate tax season because the relationships didn't last that long. They probably went from after tax season, get your tax return, maybe to Christmas, and by the next tax season, we done broke up. And so I'm looking at all my receipts and going through all my finances like, damn, I didn't spend all this money and I gave all this money trying to, like you say, get somebody to like me, feeling like, especially being a mask, that provider and all of those things that, that comes with it. So they say, that society says, if you mask presenting, you stud, you whatever, that's your role. And so for me, I felt like, well, let me give all these things because I want her to see, like, yeah, this is my worth. I tied my worth into these things. And then, hell, by Christmas, I was broke. So it wasn't love bombing. I ran out of money. That's what was happening. Okay. And then folk might think, well, you spending all this money on, I'm broke, baby. I ain't got it like that. Love me for me. Okay. Love me for me. All right. So looking at the definition here, it says love bombing is excessive attention, affection, gifts, or promises used to quickly create emotional attachment. It often feels exciting at first, but it can become controlling over time. So if somebody be like, let me pay your bills, let me pay your bills. And then it's like, well, if you don't do this, I ain't going to pay your bills. You make them financially dependent on you, or whatever the case may be. They give you all of this stuff to kind of suck you in. And then, there's something horrible about that. Now, on the flip side, some people might just be gift givers. I wasn't bombing nothing. I was just, probably that, for my actions were probably just as toxic.
It's that, but there's, like you said, there's out of manipulation when it's being done with something behind it, besides just wanting to give, it changes the effective of it. Because when you are in a situation where you're being love bombed or you are love bombing, you're going to the highest of high, to the peak, and then you getting dropped into that valley and you crave that peak again. That's why you go back. You want that attention. You want that good feeling. You want that rush of adrenaline that you had when you were with that person. And because it's now voided and you were in this state of, they didn't tell me I was pretty today, or they didn't say this, or why are they acting this way? You didn't know how to fulfill you. So someone else learned what they could do to manipulate how to fulfill you.
That part. That part indeed. That part indeed. Because, like my good friend on my other podcast always say, when you learn to love yourself, you don't have to worry about nobody else coming in and doing this or not doing this or whatever. You fulfilling yourself. You don't have to worry about those particular things. All right. So with that, the next question is, why is love bombing so easy to mistake for genuine love? Why is it so easy to mistake for genuine love? Be what you got.
Why is it so easy to mistake it for genuine love? I have a love coach who helps me with self love, and
Okay.
she uses the term the fairy tale industrial complex.
Mm.
And it describes how like media and retail and entertainment industries profit from selling the idea that love is effortless, and kind of like promote the idea that being rescued or being chosen rather than being in a relationship, in an emotionally safe relationship, um, is something that you should look for. And so I feel like that has a lot to do with it, in general. Now, why would it be easily to mistaken for love, for genuine love? For me, um, I think that we all want to be seen, loved, and appreciated. And when we live in a world where like everything goes against that, when you go to work, nobody's really, they'll give you a raise or they'll give you a promotion, but they don't really see you for
Mm.
all of you.
Yeah.
You take that with you when you go home. Um, I think that's also part of it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Probably that validation. looking for validation, and if somebody doing something nice, and like you said, sometimes people not used to those things, and if somebody giving you something that you're not used to, you think, oh, they must really love me. Okay, we doing this. Yo, what you got?
For me, is looking at the consistency of it. How does it stay? Are we steady and are we growing with it? Or do I feel depleted after it's happened? After I'm gifted or after I give you, do I feel depleted after I've done it or after I've received it? Because if I do, that was the love bomb.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't feel anything but fulfilled, whole, and healthy. So if something is causing me to not feel that way, I got to pay attention over time. And don't get me wrong, I got my own past trauma. So sometimes my own past trauma show up and make me feel a way it shouldn't make me feel, which is why I need the consistency to see, was that me in that moment? Or is that really what's happening?
Yeah, that part indeed. Um, so piggybacking out off of that, because if people are moving too fast and we feeling depleted, and we feel like this is what our worth is tied to, um, are these red flags that we're ignoring? What are some red flags that tend to be ignored early in relationships? I can say probably
Well,
the
one is definitely the doing it for doing it. Don't ask me to do nothing if you have an expectation of getting something out of me other than a smile. No, don't do it.
Mhm. Okay, okay. All right, B, what you got?
A red flag that I often ignore is the person that I'm interested in not respecting my 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 need for time or space, specifically after I've already communicated needing time.
Mhm.
Um, that's something that keeps showing up for me.
Yeah, because we like to move fast. That part, that part, and I think it is the void, is the emotional stuff. As women, we can be emotional. We look for that something to help fill us, right? And all the healed folks in the house and the healers, well, those who have been on a journey will tell you again, if you are fulfilled within, it ain't all that. And I can say for me, a lot of times I would say, okay, I need to slow down. I know I went too fast in the last relationship. I don't want to do that in this one. And what happens? Bumper the line, we off to the races. And it's like, dang. And I think for me, I have been afraid to say, oh, slow down, pump the brakes, because I have these boundaries and I don't want to move too fast because of what happened before, and mean it and stick with it because it feels good. And then we done went off to the races and it's like, wait a minute. Okay, let me run to shit. Okay. That part. So y'all know I have abandonment issues and I will abandon myself. And I think we have a lot of stuff. We walk into relationships with stuff. We carry our stuff with us. And I think we need to make certain we have our stuff in check. You know, some stuff might go away, some stuff might not. And so that makes us who we are. And so we have to really be cognizant and self-aware of, okay, I got some stuff, but let me see what's happening with this person. Yo, you saying something? Is that you or that's me? I'm hearing myself back.
Yeah, you're hearing yourself back. But
Okay.
I did want to piggyback off
Okay.
that a little bit.
Go ahead.
So you bring up some valid points when you speak on that, because we don't realize a lot of those perspectives and we don't understand how that affects us, the other person that's actually involved in it. And
Mhm.
when you're looking for that support system, when you're looking for that person, when you're in that space, it's it seems real hard not to go fast, but I will tell you, being patient and slowing down and letting that slow burn happen, it is so gratifying. I'm currently in that space. It is gratifying
Okay.
because I know what I'm worth. I know what she's worth.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm gonna be 100%. If it ain't supposed to be, it's not gonna be. But I'm not gonna be devastated because I haven't created a whole life in my head behind two conversations.
Mhm.
I have not allowed myself, even in the process, to think outside of where could this be next 6 months. I'm not thinking about, don't get me wrong. Yes, of course, those thoughts are there. Is this someone I could marry? Yes, those are the thoughts that are there, but it's not, what is she going to look like and what is our marriage going to be? That's the difference. It's,
Yeah.
yes, I want to get married. So does this person fit the potential of what I need my wife to be? Yes. But am I going to fantasize what that wife is according to what I see or the attachments that could happen? No. Which is why I've been saying the difference between dating and courting. Courting is with
Mm.
intent. Dating, you date to talk to people, you date to meet them, you date to go out. I am courting someone because I want to know her mentally. I want to know her heart. I can physically see what she looked like. But if those two
Yeah.
things are not in my alignment, if our values and our morals at the end of the day don't align, if I don't feel like I can lay in a bed with you ass butt naked, not touch you, and just have the most intimate conversation, we in the wrong space. Because baby, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? So last conversation you asked, what does love look like for me now? That's what love looks like for me. Slow burn.
Mhm.
That is what I need. I need someone who can understand that this is going to be consistent. This is going to take time. This is going to take conversation. Baby, I'm going to see you in every season. And if we can't make it through together, we are not meant to be season together. And I'm okay with that. You are the leaf that fell. I'm going to continue to be the root that grounds me.
All right, yo. I feel you. I feel you. So why do you think, and that's the both of you, B and yo, why do you think people fall in love so fast? Or fall so quickly? What is, I kind of joked, I was joking about women, the lesbian thing, the U-Haul, but that's a real thing. People do that. So why do you think, B, why do you think people fall in love so quickly or move so quickly?
I think it's the same as like why we were mistaking it for genuine love. It's like
Okay.
people really do want to be seen, heard, and appreciated. And when you get a little taste of it, you're like, all right, I want this to stay. And also, in general, we yearn for community. Have you ever told your friends what's really going on? They're actually going to tell you, like, all right, this is not healthy for you.
Yeah.
Um, but, when you take away community, or when it's hard to build community, it's hard to have those conversations. And so it's easy to just go with whatever it is that is handed to you as love.
Yeah. Yeah, my community tried to tell me, child, and I was moving. I was like, nah, that ain't it. Food. I feel you. I feel you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Yeah, we look for that validation. We look for stuff outside of us, and you know, it feels good. Somebody check the right box, press the right button. I don't want to lose this. This might be the best I ever get. You know, if it this might be the one. You know, that kind of thing, because it feels good whenever we are not fulfilling our own needs. You know, so I feel that. I feel it for sure. Um, have y'all ever confused intensity with intimacy? What that look like?
Oh yeah, like a hot mess.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's the difference between the two? Intensity and intimacy. Whichever one of y'all want to answer
You
for
can be
me.
intense with anything. You
Okay. So when you say intensity is more performative and intimacy is taking your time?
no, it's definitely a mindset as well. You have to want to be intense, but you can be intense in politics. You're not necessarily going to be intimate in politics.
Okay. Well, what does intimacy
The
look like?
intimate to me is the getting personal. It's the, like I said, being able to lay naked with someone and see
Mm-hmm.
them for them, not as a sexual being. A lot of people think sex is intimacy. It's not. It's the forehead kiss.
Yeah.
It's the scooting up behind you and just holding you from the back because damn, I smell you. It's the I don't give a fuck. I'm about to drive 30 minutes just to come see you and get a hug if that's what the fuck I need to do because I need that interaction. That's intimacy. The intensity behind that is the effort you place in it. You don't
Okay.
have to be intense when you are intimate with someone. Casual.
Okay. Okay. B, you got anything to add?
I think yo got
You
every.
did it, huh? You'll be preaching.
Yeah.
We're gonna pass that collection plate, okay? But you're right on it. You are definitely right on it. And I think that because we move so fast, because we're going on feelings and emotions, we don't take that time for intimacy, or we think intimacy is just sex. I want to take my time. Okay. Next thing you know, we are butt naked, but ain't nobody just look. Some other stuff going on. It's a churn in the bed. It's some other stuff going on. It is some. And I think it's all about feelings and emotions. You making me feel good. I've probably felt good before, but maybe I hadn't felt good in a long time. So you seem different. But if I was feeling good on my own, then the slow down would happen. Definitely happen. So yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I had a whole lot of
Mhm.
reasons to slow down.
Okay.
I had somebody tell me they wanted to choke me and fold me up and put me in a motherfucking freezer. I had all the reason in the
Oh no.
world to start slowing
Oh
down
no.
when it came to
Yeah.
intent and who I am and who I will date.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
makes you very intentional, makes you realize that you need to make sure you are grounded in who you are.
Yeah.
Because that was the valley of the love bombing. That was the valley of the love bombing. The what you going I'm sorry, what? Huh? Who? Okay. Got a big
That part.
personality. In real life, I'm but two, and I weigh a good 110 pounds soaking wet. I'm easily enough to fold and put in somebody's freezer. I'm not playing with my life. No, thank you. I don't got time for that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. And I think when we've had relationships that were not um, healthy or we're not successful, I think we need to take pieces of it and learn from it. Because unfortunately, something like that, yeah, I don't think I want to talk to nobody for a long, long time. But nevertheless, not to that intense of a situation. But even with some of the um, other traumatic stuff or toxic things, to be able to take that time to get to know people, because a lot of times we don't. Now, I'm not knocking the dating apps. I'm not knocking them. I've never been on a dating app, but to me, for me, I like that organic. Maybe if we met somewhere, I've met a lot of people online just through the social media platforms like regular groups or me posting stuff and people, the algorithm bring people or however they find you, and having that conversation of getting to know you. What do you like, as opposed to, okay, they got this on the app, that on the app. Okay, let me see. Because from what I'm hearing, some of that stuff don't be real anyway. People be lying, or they'll see your stuff and maybe add it to theirs so they can say, "Oh, we match." I don't. But then, when you meet people organically, hell, they could be lying about that too. So discernment is a real thing, and the only way you can is by taking your time. For the most part, you want success, take your time and hold them boundaries, hold that line. I let my line go. When my line said bloop, it was like, man, next time I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold that line. What we doing? No, we not having sex yet. No, okay, that's where we at. Y'all sure need to be asleep. It's after 8 o'clock. Okay. All right. Next question. We're talking about trauma bond. What is a trauma bond? Now, I got a definition here because I hear that term used so loosely, and I think we misuse that term. But according to what dear Chat GPT gave us, it says a trauma bond is a strong emotional attachment formed through repeated cycles of love, hurt, apology, and hope. It can make unhealthy relationships very difficult to leave. Now, when people use trauma bond, sometimes they'll make it seem like you've been hurt, I've been hurt, so we found each other. But that's not a trauma bond. The trauma bond is when they put you through this cycle. As mentioned, the love bombing. Hey, I'm going to give you everything you want. I'm going to serenade you. I'm sweet. I don't go out. I ain't doing nothing. So you see that person and you like that person. I'm going to treat you real well. You like that person. Then, unfortunately, sometimes the abuse or physical or emotional stuff come in, and then they're gonna gaslight you. I don't believe that's on here, but they're gonna make you think something wrong with you. And then you start questioning yourself, like, well, maybe I'm tripping because they were so sweet before. She was so nice before. Maybe I'm tripping. And then they come back to being nice, and then they go like the Sour Patch Kids, the commercial, the little thing be so sweet, then it might kick you in the ass, and then they come back being sweet again. That's what a trauma bond is. So if you hurt and your other person hurt, and y'all not doing any of that, that's not a trauma bond. There might be some attachment stuff going on because y'all have some needs that hadn't been met somewhere, but that's not a trauma bond. And if B or y'all got anything to say about trauma bonding? B, what you got? Anything in particular?
I, I did think that I used
Run,
to think something else that I looked up after receiving your panel
run as
questions,
Okay.
and I really
fast as you can,
don't
like
think
the
Joe.
gingerbread man.
Say it again.
Run, run.
Oh, yeah,
That is what
yeah,
I will say.
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
will say go find counseling.
Oh, yo, Mercury on that shit again. That's all right, yo. We're gonna let you jump in when it stop doing that mess. B, you was finished with your statement.
Um, yeah, I was just saying that I did think that trauma bonding was two people who went through trauma and they're bonding over that trauma.
That part, yeah, yeah. Yo, you back? Uh-oh. God damn it, Mercury. All right. I think what happens when the two people who have gone through trauma find each other, there's attachment there. You know, some may have an anxious attachment that I want to be there, I want to be there, I want to be there. You know, I don't want, you know, I want this person to fill these voids I have, so I'm anxious and I don't want to do nothing wrong because I don't want them to leave. That's me. I had an anxious attachment style. Then you may have an anxious avoidant. They will do all that, be close to me, be close to me, be close to me. Then it's like, oh, you too close. I'm scared. Boom, I'm gone. Okay. And then that's the avoidant part. Or you might get an avoidant altogether. They cool for a minute, but if they get too close, it's like, nah, sis, I'm out. I gotta go. Well, what happened? That's usually what happens. We were so good. What happened? Both people scared because they've been hurt before. You know, so those are those attachment styles. The trauma bonding, that's some abuse and some toxic, serious toxic stuff that's going on. Yo, you back?
I hope so, because I said some really good stuff.
Oh man, okay. Can you give us a little rewind?
First thing I said was run, run, run as fast as you can, like the gingerbread man.
Uh-huh.
And then I followed that up with cognitive behavioral therapy. Remap your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Understand why you accept it and find a way to no longer deal with it. That was the best thing that I could do for me when I was going through therapy. Don't get me wrong, talking works for people. And it's not that I wasn't talking. I was talking, but all I'm doing is venting and talking the same thing in the same circle. And I'm repeating the same circles and the same cycles because nothing is changing, because all you're doing is telling me how to deal with the cycle I'm dealing with. No one is telling me how to look at the cycle different, see where it's unhealthy for me and break it down so that I can change the pattern next time and put a brick there. I don't want to go that way. I want to divert and go this way now. I don't want to see that as healthy. I don't want to see that as love. I don't want to see that as me being welcomed. I want something different. That is not healthy. It leaves me in a space and the questions coming from. So, understand where it was coming from. I'm not going to sit here and say that just because I did it, that it's just automatic, woo, everything works out. No, because sometimes you get in a cycle and you don't even realize you're there. Wait, that's a little too much. Like, wait, hold on. I got to step back, step back. Sometimes you're too far in it that you don't understand of where to step back. That's when you have resources, because you've already utilized getting the help that you need for you. You have friends, you have counselors. There's these groups. We here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, indeed.
Conversations happen. This is important, and that's why we're here. We're here just because we want to blow smoke. We're here because we know the importance of what this means. Community, as mass presenting, and women.
For sure. Getting the help that you need, because a lot of times, like you said, we don't realize the patterns that we fall into. We know we don't like it, but we really don't understand the why. And that's where talking to someone, actually going to therapy, or even doing some shadow work. I see Sharonda entered the building right on time.
Yes, indeed.
You know, because there's a root cause somewhere. There's a seed that was planted somewhere that I'll say for me, that made me feel like my worth had to be in things. I had to be performative to receive love. So I bought cars. Well, I just was the co-signer. I didn't pay. I had no money like that. I co-signed for some cars. I had a car that was already paid for that I gave to somebody, so I wasn't buying cars. Okay, that's a myth. But nevertheless, I overextended myself because I felt like, okay, as mass presenting, that's what the provider is supposed to do. And I got to pay all these bills and I got to do all this stuff. You know, I think on one hand, if this is your long term partner and y'all have gone through all the stuff, and y'all are good and the relationship has its dynamics and y'all have agreed that this is what the dynamics look like and you want to pay all the bills, bless your heart, because your partner is doing something in return. Maybe you paying the bills and they taking care of the household. There's a even give and take, whatever you decide. Everybody's relationship dynamic is going to look different when it comes to those things. Maybe y'all doing 50-50. I pay the lights, you pay the gas, whatever. But I think what we do, and I know that I've been guilty of it on our front end before I even knew what it is or what it was like, here, provider, provider, provider. And they like, yup, yup, yup. And that was it. Not really getting a chance to know the person, not really getting a chance to see if we align and all these other things. It was just like here, here, here kind of thing. And that's by running into it. How are you falling head over heels without knowing the dynamics? That part. Going with feelings and emotions. It feels good. They're giving me some attention and all that good stuff. So we talked about this. What's one step you can take to begin healing? Go and talk to somebody. Like Yo said, being in these groups and conversations. If you are in this conversation in this group per se, and something resonates with you, that lets you know, okay, I need to go talk to somebody. And if you don't know who to talk to, we got resources here. You can talk to us. We can point you in the right direction depending on where you are and what you want to do. The problem is the heels be over the head. Okay, yeah. In many ways. Okay. I believe it's a sense of enabling. Over time, it becomes resentment with being the provider. I think if there's not a healthy dynamic, if I'm doing, and I ain't getting like no help, I got to do everything, and my needs are not getting met in some kind of way, then yeah, I ended up being pissed in relationships because I'm doing, and I'm giving all, and all I need you to do is communicate with me or be faithful to me or whatever the case may be. Give me a little grace. Then yeah, that's where the resentment comes in. But if we got it together, I'm paying the bills, you cooking all the food, you tending to my needs, I feel heard, I feel seen, I feel loved, I'm gonna keep going to work and pay them bills because that's the agreement we have. That's the way our relationship goes. But if I'm doing everything and my needs not getting met no kind of way, then yeah, I think that would be an issue. Yeah, one-sided for sure. For sure. So we did talk about anxious attachment, how we get the fear of abandonment or rejection, and often leads to someone seeking constant reassurance, or they stay in unhealthy relationships. So a lot of times people feel, okay, I missed the whole question. What is anxious attachment? Turn the page too quick. All right, so that's what anxious attachment is. I have some voids somewhere and I want to be in a relationship, and the little stuff you gave me in the beginning felt good, and I'm still waiting on that high, so to speak. And so, yeah, it's going to make me stay in some situations and try to fix it and do all of that stuff because I'm looking for something outside of myself. The true healing and the true love I need is within. Baby, y'all say what y'all want about Whitney Houston, okay? Y'all say what y'all want about Whitney Houston. That's why the theme of the I can't play the theme for Heartbreak Hotel because we'll get sued. Whitney Houston had the secret. Now Oprah said she done fell out on stage when she was using that. God bless her. Rest in peace, Snippy. Okay, but she said learning to love yourself It's the greatest love of all. You can do all this stuff, what she was saying about the children are the future, and teach them everything you need to teach them. But if you don't teach them self love, what we got? She was a prophet. Amen. Okay. All right. So, well, we kind of said how anxious attachment shows up in the relationships, right? How do we move past that anxious attachment? How do we develop a healthier relationship patterns? How do we develop healthy relationship patterns? What do we do for a healthier, more secure relationship? B, what do we do?
I think really looking into how you want to be loved, and also looking at how you've been loved in the past. Like, was it healthy? Was it safe? Because like we can really take the ways that others have treated us into our futures and our future connections without realizing that that's what we're doing. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to say that, investigate how love has felt for you in the past.
That part for sure. Yo, what you got?
That right there is hidden be right there. That right there is hidden. That like I feel like that is definitely the root of most of it because without understanding those portions of it, you don't know what you
Mm.
need, what you don't need, what you want, what you don't want. It all becomes a blurred line. And the first person that shows up talking nice or shows you something different, which is why you end up back in the same pattern you were in without realizing it, but also slowing down just a little bit. We got to slow down over that emotion and that feeling. We don't remember. We need to still learn. We need to be excited, but be excited to learn. Don't be excited to make a connection. Be excited that you I'm not don't get me wrong, not to say you shouldn't be excited that you made the connection, but be excited to learn through that connection. Don't be so excited that you've made a permanent concrete foundation and you was literally putting it on sand. You put the
Yeah.
concrete on sand and you wondering why it's wilting away and why stuff is sinking and it ain't where it's supposed to be because it wasn't on a stable piece of concrete from the get-go. But you thought it was, so you thought you was gonna build something and then you wondering why it just fell apart.
That part. That part for sure. And that foundation starts within. Because
It does.
if I got me if I got me squared away, if I'm good, and I meet somebody and they do all that love bombing, but then I see the how they say the representative show up, and then the true self shows up, then I can walk away. Anxious attachment keeps me there and looking for the love bomb and trying to fix the person and doing all that stuff while I'm abandoning myself. And so that's how you get rid of that sand. You have to start with you and take your time and look and see, and like B said, know what you want. Know what you want. I think a lot of times I'm guilty. I don't know what I want. I know that I want love, but what does it look like? You know, and to really sit down and think about that and have some standards and have some idea of what does it take for me to feel love, not how I want to love my partner. Because I know that I'm gonna go back to them R&B songs. If they ever find me, they're gonna come get me. I'm gonna give you this, take my money, my house, and my cars. I think that was my favorite song. I ain't had no house, but they had everything else. Okay. And all that stuff. And it tells you this is how I'm gonna show up. This is what performative love looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. But nobody's singing about what I want for me. So yeah, I can give you all this stuff, and then the resentment will come because I hadn't figured out what I wanted to be able to tell you, or even have that communication, or look for what it is that I need because I'm busy, giving you because I'm performative and I want you to love me because I can give you all these things. And so I think once we learn to love ourselves, the great Whitney Houston, bless her heart, has told us we have to learn to love ourselves. And through that love, if I feel this good with me, a partner comes in, somebody come in, what can they do to, you know, walk beside me with that? I'm not looking for them to give me something I ain't got. And I think that's the thing, looking for that validation from other people. How does what you bring, fit in with what I'm already got going on? That part. That part. What y'all think about that?
I wholeheartedly agree.
All right. All right. I don't know. I don't know if you're trying to tell us something. That damn Mercury. That damn Mercury retrograde. If y'all never thought Mercury retrograde was a thing, it is. Look at what's happening. We're having this great conversation. And technology want to do the fool. That's all right though. Do the fool if you want. We still gonna have the conversation. We're gonna work through it. We're working through the glitches. We're gonna work through the glitches. So let me see. It should time out. It's gonna speed up in a minute. So one last question we have before we can bring it over to Yo to do the things that she's prepared. Um, what's one thing you hope people remember about genuine love after tonight's conversation? B, what do you hope, for somebody who, you know, been going through it, having situations with love, maybe don't even love themselves. What's one thing you would hope somebody would take from these conversations?
That that genuine love is for you to decide for yourself and not
Mm-hmm.
just accept whatever it is that others want to give you as their definition of love.
Yeah, that part. That part, because the way I love and the way you love is totally different, you know. And I think that's a thing too. We have to find out what our partner wants. We have to know what we want. And I can't love you the way I want to be loved. I have to see what it is that you desire. I'm hearing some beeping. What is that? Yo, did you come back? Like it's trying. It's trying, Jesus. Try Jesus. He's all right. Come on, yo. It's getting there. It's trying to get there. Try Jesus. Oh, man. Well, let's see. Hit us up in the comments, yo. Okay, she moving. We want to roll into your poem for what it's gonna allow us to do. Your spoken word.
Can you actually hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. Lord,
It's all right. You know what? We're
got
gonna
me on
roll
the
with it
spot.
because it's a message. We're gonna roll with it. Hey.
I'm single with intentionality, not here to mingle, you see. I come with a blueprint, not to be duplicated. Relatable. I'm the hype, the spice that you need. Dating's a game, so I switch up the relay. We strategize chess while we puff on that cess. Come rest with this queen in her court, and let the jesters be weeded away. Let the loyalty stand by my throne where empires are built and we are. Let time at the end of this journey ring slide on fingers. Last names change. Nah, we ain't love bombing, but we are purposely planning, purposefully in our planning. We can build the pathway together, but Rot will have me rebuild it alone, and I'm okay there too. Everyone doesn't deserve a glance at this layout, but just know there's a payout. Trust is needed, even when love is there. Nikki, just look within. Trust me, it's there. Home, when all else is a question, because it ends in M-E, me.
Okay. All right, all right. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I feel that. It starts and it ends with me. Now, yo, I think you had something else while the internet acting right. You want to roll into whatever else you had?
Yes, 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 I got you. I got you. So, affirmations, things to start looking for and looking at when you are in those spaces and you are trying to find something to help ground you. Something to look for in the lessons on patience. I do not need to rush to be known. Steady. And true love has patience to grow in my time.
All right.
My work is not a race. I choose to wait for love that respects my pace as much as respects my heart. And a lesson for that ferocious flame. So when that love bombing starting to feel like, whoo, where am I? Is it really that, or where we at? I discern the difference between fire that warms my soul and a flame that consumes my peace. To the intensity of a burn, I am drawn to the stability of a warm light.
Mhm.
When fire, I honor my own safety by stepping back. I deserve warmth that nourishes rather than destroys. So when I'll find a way to get those out for you guys if you want to utilize them or use them or anything like that. But those are things that I kind of try to tell myself to help me when I'm in those spaces.
Okay.
And then
That's what I'm telling. Somebody asked,
I
they
can't
say
do
they need a
nothing.
list. If you could post it, maybe. Yeah, we all want a list. If you could post it, send it to us. We'll put it out there.
I got you. I could do that. And then,
All right,
me
good,
and my
good.
breathing. You gotta breathe. It's the end of the you gotta breathe.
Let's breathe.
All right.
All right.
So sit up in a little chair, feet feet planted on the floor, your knees at your knees so that you're supporting yourself as you're sitting down. You're gonna place one hand on your upper chest and on your belly, just below your ribs. So the purpose of this is so that you can feel what your body is doing when it is breathing. You're going to inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly push out while your chest stays still. And when you exhale, you're going to purse your lips and you're going to tighten your stomach as your belly falls. So get comfortable in that supportive chair. And the rhythm that you're going to use is try breathing in for 1 to 2 seconds, holding it for 2 to 3 seconds, and releasing it. And as you get better with doing it, because the breaths are so purposeful, you increase the breath for yourself. So if you can do 4 seconds, do it. If you can do 6 seconds, do it. But start off slow because you also don't want to get too much dizzy or lightheaded. I am not responsible for you falling over in your chair.
Sus, we ain't got no money.
All right. First breath in. Hold. Release. Then deep breath through your nose. Feel your hands on your belly pushing. Your hands on your chest should remain still. Exhale. Breathe out. Make sure you're pursing those lips. And let all the air escape your lungs. Tighten your abdominal muscles to make sure that you are releasing as much air as possible. Release that carbon dioxide and that negative bull. Breathe in love, peace, determination, intimacy. Release the negativity, the BS, the people who say that you can't, the voices in your head that say that you can't. Let it go. Breathe in love. Breathe in peace. Breathe in pieces of you forgot existed. Breathe in your smile. And let go of the world's weight because it's not for you. All right, how's everybody feeling?
Feeling good.
No,
Feeling
I did
calm.
something tired. That's how you're supposed to feel, right? That relaxation, that, I can, that's how you're supposed to feel.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you, yo, so much. B, thank you very much. I want to thank everybody who joined us for tonight. Um, we might take a little hiatus because work has started and we got to line up all the podcasts and see how we're going to do it. But we appreciate y'all for joining us. I hope something that was said resonated with you and that love is out there. I was talking to somebody earlier. Love is real. You just have to be able to love yourself first and align and attract somebody that's doing the same. And man, once those two get together, it's like candy. I can hey, okay, all right. Well, look, y'all be blessed. Y'all missed it. Check us out on YouTube. Check the replay on YouTube. And we are out. Y'all have a good night.